a switch or turn a knob, and presto, food cooked deliciously and automatically, not only in the oven, but any other way she likes it prepared. Dishwashing, automatically done without fuss or bother. And wash days, so simple now compared to the days when we were first married, Gus. No matter what the job is, there are machines to take the hard work out of it.
In our daily lives, we are surrounded by a multitude of amenities that we use and take for granted without thinking about it all. Since what they can do and what they provide is experienced almost immediately, we do not think of anything past what they allow. This is dangerous, however, due to what our current energy system creates and perpetuates. The world's energy system is currently based off of the extraction, manipulation, and consumption of dirty energy that comes from fossil fuels. This system of energy extraction and reliance formed as a result of the Industrial Revolution, which led to unprecedented efficiency in production. In turn, this also created and solidified a previously unnecessary demand for fossil fuels to continue the cycle of efficient production. As a result, our society formed around the idea that energy is cheap, easy, and efficient to produce. As we realized more and more that these practices are not only unsustainable, but detrimental to our well-being and the well-being of the environment around us, it is nearly impossible to find alternative energy sources that produce energy on the same scale and allow us the same freedoms, trapping us in our current system. Now in the 21st century, we are starting to see and feel the consequences of our actions surrounding energy, not only just in health concerns and environmental degradation, but as a crisis on a global scale due to how our energy system factors in to global warming and the current climate and environmental crisis. We interviewed the organization Global Green USA, which aims to foster a global value shift towards a sustainable and secure future through the greening of cities, schools, homes, and education advocacy.
So Global Green's a national environmental nonprofit. We were founded over 20 years ago. They created this office in New Orleans 10 years ago after Hurricane Katrina to encourage the sustainable rebuilding of the city. After Hurricane Katrina, Global Green did a few different things, set out a plan for a kind of a sustainability footprint for the city. And that included many things for residential, including residential retrofits, green schools, and then creating this demonstration project, which we're actually in right now, which is called the Holy Cross Project. So really, by reducing their utility bills, it's a domino effect on the rest of their lives. For the Holy Cross Project, our LEED Platinum homes have very tight building envelopes. In buildings, our number one energy user is our heating and air conditioning systems. So our first goal is to get energy efficient HVAC systems. We also have Energy Star appliances, refrigerator, microwave, washing machine that use about 40% less energy than is required. Lighting, so compact fluorescent or LED lights in the home, and then just the design to take advantage of what the environment can provide, like light. So designing for day lighting, having more windows on the north side to let in the light during the day and not having to turn on the lights. And we also produce some of our own energy through our rooftop solar systems.
Due to the ingrained institutional system of energy production and consumption that has reigned over the past couple hundred years, it is organizations like Global Green, not necessarily leaders of industry and technology and energy, that address core issues in our energy infrastructure head-on. Our major contemporary sources of energy, oil, gas, and coal, all contribute to the exploitation and deterioration of the environment and have hazardous effects on human health. The issue is not only that these methods are faulty and incompetent, that we have the potential to revamp and progress our society for the better but fail to do so. This is done by Global Green USA through programs like Build It Back Green, NOLA Wise, and Green Schools and Education. Assuming we maintain our current energy production, we are projected to almost entirely deplete our oil within about 50 years. While other fossil fuels like coal may last up to another 200 years, the negative externalities of these fossil fuels will have unprecedented environmental and health effects. Thus, unless we want our standard of living to drop dramatically, we must incorporate other forms of energy. While we may never find another energy source that can truly match the innate efficiency of fossil fuels, we will hopefully create a society that does not depend on a finite resource. Currently, the United States gets 7% of its energy from renewable sources, the majority of which comes from wind power, biomass, solar power, and geothermal power. While creating the technology to harvest renewable energy is somewhat demanding, it is a one-time thing. For instance, once any given windmill or PV panel is built, it is installed and immediately put to use. On the other hand, energy resources like oil and natural gas are reliant on the amount of these resources that exist in the earth, instead of how efficient their energy capturing mechanisms are. Phasing in alternative energy sources will decrease emissions and increase the health of humans and the environment, while also giving us more time to phase out fossil fuels.
Yeah, so there's definitely a homeowner or renter education component even with these retrofits. So it's not just about what we do to the building, but it's also about education of the users of the building. There's always, there's these stories about you can have a very efficient building, but it really depends on the users of how they interact with the building.
However, it is not safe to assume that the corporations and businesses responsible for the production of our energy and the technologies that rely on it will also see the necessity to change and follow in sustainable practices on their own. In order to truly stimulate progress, government taxes and subsidies need to be shifted in favor of renewable energy industries and technologies. Yet governments have been heavily resistant to switching energy sources and their systems. As we move towards newer alternative energy sources that capture energy from natural systems without harm to the environment, it is imperative we phase out antiquated industrial energy practices that lead to pollution and environmental destruction. It is also crucial that as we do this, we reevaluate and redesign how we view our surrounding environments and our relationship to nature. The major problem when it comes to energy is how we use it. Currently, we overextend ourselves in how much energy we use and how often we use it.
We monitor all of the homes in the Holy Cross Project with a Lucid building dashboard, and that tells us we're able to compare all 5 of the homes and see how much energy their solar is producing, how much energy each home is using in real time, and how much natural gas, water, etc. that these homeowners are using. So also these homeowners are able to go on to the website, to the dashboard, and look at their use versus their neighbors. So they know that they have the same home design, an energy efficient home design, but maybe they're using 3 times as much water as their neighbor. So because they know that, they can research ways, behavioral changes that they can make to reduce their water use. So just knowing things like that, knowing that your usage is above average is a very important measure to change behaviors, because then that gives the homeowner or renter an opportunity to seek out ways to decrease their usage.
The problems caused by the energy crisis can be lessened if we use less energy. One way to do this is by using energy-efficient appliances in our homes. Technology often presents us with the illusion that we can exceed our limits. So with renewable energy, we must remain cognizant of the fact that our standard of living probably cannot be maintained simply by replacing fossil fuels with alternative energy. Supplementing this change with energy-efficient technologies is key. It is likely that our standard of living will decline inevitably, but this doesn't mean we have to return to the Stone Ages. Renewable energy technologies used in tandem with efficient energy technologies need to become more advanced, more efficient, and cheaper if we want them to truly be part of our society in the future.